Welcome back, everyone. I'm Celeste.
And I'm Terry.
And today we are just traveling through Monument Valley. It is renowned for its sandstone buttes that rise dramatically from the desert floor.
In fact, these striking landscapes have been featured in numerous Western films, making it a favorite backdrop for filmmakers such as John Ford. John Ford made a number of very famous Western movies and made John Wayne a household name.
You can see the movies are scrolling across the screen. In fact, over 100 movies and TV shows have been filmed there.
Yeah, it's a very, very favorite spot for Hollywood because of the unique geography.
In this video, we're going to give you an overview and information about Monument Valley, where it is, where to stay when you visit, entry information, and how to tour the valley. Monument Valley is a Navajo tribal park and is one of several Navajo tribal parks in the United States. So where is Monument Valley and how to get there?
Monument Valley straddles the border between Utah and Arizona, but the visitor area is completely in Arizona.
It's 381 miles from Salt Lake City.
316 miles from Phoenix, a little over a 5-hour drive.
394 miles from Vegas and 318 miles from Albuquerque, or a 5.5 hours drive if going direct. So you can see how far it is from major cities or major airports. It's a good idea to try to visit Monument Valley when you're on a larger road trip.
As you can see on this map, there are a number of very neat places to include in a road trip to Monument Valley. Places such as Page, Arizona, Lake Powell and Glen Canyon Dam,
Mesa Verde, Zion, Bryce, even the Moab area that includes Arches and Canyonlands.
and even the Grand Canyon.
How far is the Grand Canyon?
151 miles from the east entrance to the Grand Canyon,
And what about Zion?
225 miles from Zion National Park.
We came from Farmington, which was only 149 miles away. We had stopped there after visiting Chaco Canyon in New Mexico. Where to stay while you're visiting Monument Valley? There's a couple of options in the park itself. There's the View Cabins, the View Hotel, and the View Campground. We stayed at the cabins. It was pretty cool. They were comfortable. They were basic accommodations.
Yeah, very basic, but big enough. I mean, we didn't need a lot of space. There's only the two of us, and it had everything that we needed.
It had a little bunk room in it that you can see here on the video, which was kind of cool if you have kids. It didn't really have a full kitchen. It had a refrigerator and a microwave, the one that we had. I think others may have a larger kitchen if you had a larger unit. We were expecting there to be some silverware and things like that, but there wasn't. We had our own food that we brought in.
And fortunately, our own knife, which enabled us to carve up some dinner.
Yeah, cheese and bread and things like that. And the reason why we decided to stay here in the park was because we wanted to see the sunrises and the sunsets.
Yeah, and the cabin had a wonderful picture window, which we could look out facing east.
One thing I didn't like about the cabins was that we were in the second row, and to a certain extent the front row obstructed our view a little bit. There is a platform you can go to, you can see between the cabins up there, where you can go and take pictures from there, but I had to walk down there to do that, so that's one thing to just be aware of.
This was not an inexpensive stay. As you can see, it was $316.45 for one night.
Including tax. But we felt like we were paying for the view, and we
got our money's worth.
The other option in the park is the View Hotel. Again, they have beautiful views outside their window. We did not stay there, but the accommodations are reasonable from what we've read. Again, you're paying for the views and the locations, so if you're really interested in seeing sunrise and sunset, those are the two options. In addition to, there's a little campground that you can stay at.
The campground has two types of sites, RV sites, but they're dry, with a maximum RV length of 24 feet. And the other type of site is a straight-on tenting site.
And as of this time, I think they're $69 a night. Now, I'm going to note here that you actually don't have to stay in the park to see the sunrises and the sunsets. You can drive in after the front gate is closed to see the sunsets, or before it opens to see the sunrise. One other place to stay that's outside of the park that's close by is Goulding's Lodge. It's a 3-star hotel. It gets 4-star rating on TripAdvisor and a 4.5-star rating on Google Reviews. It also has a pool and different on-site amenities, so that's a good option. It's only 4 miles away, I believe.
The other option you could consider is staying in Kayenta, Arizona, which is a few more miles down south of Monument Valley. But there is a small number of hotels there, grocery stores, and other services are available.
And they're a little more reasonably priced. Cost for entry is $8 per person per day. You can purchase online or upon arrival. I believe it was credit card only.
Yeah, we purchased when we arrived and it was no problem.
The winter hours are 8 to 5 a.m. daily. The last entry is at 2:30. The tour booth is operated from 8 to 5 p.m. Monday through Sunday, every day of the week.
Summer hours are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Last entry at 4:30 p.m. and the tour operator booth is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Sunday.
So visiting the park, there's really only the 17-mile loop drive, or you can do that as a tour. I wouldn't do both because on the tours you're going to see the same spots that you saw on the drive. And also visiting the trading post there, which is a good thing to do because it's supporting the local tribe.
Yeah, they have a number of Navajo artifacts, and it's an interesting place to visit.
And they have other gifts and tourist type things. They have some tribal made items and some non-tribal made items. Now, one note is if you do stay in the park, you do get a discount at the store as well. But back to what we were saying, there's only those things to do there, so there's really no need to spend more than a day. Or a few hours. If you didn't want to see sunset and sunrise, you can really do the 17-mile loop drive in just a few hours, and then you can be on your way.
Continue your road trip elsewhere.
This is the image from the brochure that shows the 17-mile loop drive. We mentioned we arrived from Farmington. We drove over in the morning, and then we arrived just after lunch. And we were able to do the 17-mile drive before we checked into our cabins. So the drive itself is beautiful.
Yeah, you feel like you're on Mars. The geography out there with the various mesas and buttes and rock formations is just amazing.
So some people want to know whether or not you can do the drive without a four-wheel drive. And we did it in a Nissan Sentra.
Yeah, the trail is primarily hard-packed dirt. In some cases sand, and in some cases very rocky. So you do have to be careful. There is a speed limit of 15 miles per hour. But in fact, you would be hard-pressed to go faster than 10 miles an hour. There's so many ruts, so many bumps, and so many rocks. To be safe, you've got to go slower.
One note we noticed on their website is that during monsoon season, the drive gets even rougher terrain and deeper sand dunes. Motorcycles and RVs are prohibited on the loop drive due to the rough terrain. So I think our advice would be to always check the website.
Yeah, they'll have current conditions listed there. And the sand just turns to really deep quicksand if it rains a lot.
I understand that tours, if you actually book a tour, they have vehicles that are much more comfortable. So if you have any concern at all about bringing your own car and you don't have
on a tour,
four-wheel drive, you can jump on a tour, and that also helps the tribe as well. You can book tours online. There are many to choose from. Basic tours cost anywhere from $75 to $95 per person, and they have moonlight tours, sunset tours, and even more expensive private tour options.
One thing you should be aware of, this is Navajo Nation property, and as such they do not sell alcohol, and it is against their law to have alcohol in your car or being consumed while you're on the 17-mile scenic drive.
They also do not allow drones in the park, and they have an extensive list on the website. Some of the major sites you're going to see on the loop are the Mittens and Merrick Butte.
And of course John Ford's Point.
Artist Point.
The North Window,
Three Sisters,
and the Totem Pole Rock Formation. You're looking at Rain God Mesa, which is a really unique formation. We stopped here and walked out so we could look over the valley. It's just beautiful, beautiful view.
When we were done with the drive, we were able to check into our cabin and kind of kick back and relax, which was pretty awesome. And then we waited for the sunset. And the sunset behind us, behind the cabins, so you could see the reflections on the rocks in front.
Yeah, you could already see in this image the shadows are getting quite extensive from the sun setting. It was beautiful.
The sunset was beautiful, but the sunrise was just spectacular.
You felt like you're on a different planet.
As soon as we started seeing the sun come up, we jumped up and I started filming. I took a time-lapse video on our GoPro, and you see that here on the screen, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, you really have to imagine these big rock formations with the sun coming up behind them. It's just a stunning example of what diverse geography can be found here.
We have a video we did on the Grand Canyon that came from this trip. We'll be working on one of Santa Fe, New Mexico, and other areas in New Mexico soon.
So keep checking back because we're working on them even as we speak.
And please subscribe if you want to see those as they come out. Thanks a bunch.
Have a good day.
Cheers.
Bye.